Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel named Coin Purchaser. In today's video, we're going to talk about a coin that might seem like a simple penny, but it actually has a much more complex and fascinating history than most people realize. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1982 1-cent coin, the penny that sparked a lot of interest among collectors and numismatists alike. But what makes the 1982 penny so special? Well, it has a story that spans from its changes in minting materials to its rise in value as a collectible today. So, let's take a closer look. Section 1. The history of the 1982 1-cent coin. To understand the 1982 1-cent coin, we need to first look at the broader history of the penny itself. The penny, or the 1-cent coin, was first introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1793, and its design has changed several times over the years. However, the 1982 penny was unique because it was the year the U.S. Mint made a significant change in its composition. Before 1982, the U.S. penny was made from 95% copper, with a small amount of tin and zinc. However, the early 1980s brought on a period of high inflation and rising copper prices. Copper became so expensive that it was no longer cost-effective to mint pennies out of this metal. By 1982, the cost to produce a penny was more than the actual value of the coin itself. So, the U.S. Mint was faced with a dilemma. How could they reduce the cost of minting pennies while still keeping them in circulation? The solution? A dramatic change in the composition of the coin. Section 2. The 1982 transition. The composition changed. Up until 1982, the penny was almost entirely copper. But in 1982, the U.S. Mint began transitioning from the traditional copper alloy penny to one made of primarily zinc. The final result? A penny composed of 97.5% zinc, with only 2.5% copper plating on the outside. This change was made to save money and reduce the cost of production. This transition wasn't immediate. The Mint didn't just flip a switch, they gradually phased in the new composition. As a result, 1982 saw two different types of pennies being produced: the copper alloy pennies and the new zinc-based pennies. If you look closely at a 1982 penny, you'll notice that there are actually two different versions, one with the copper alloy composition and the other with the zinc core. The two types of coins can be differentiated by their weight and color. Section 3. How to identify the 1982 copper versus zinc penny. So, how do you tell if you have a copper or zinc 1982 penny? There are a few key things to look out for. First, weight. The copper alloy pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. The copper pennies also have a slightly more reddish hue, while the zinc pennies tend to have a duller, lighter color. Show weight comparison scale of the two types of 1982 pennies. Additionally, the copper penny will have a much stronger clink sound when dropped, while the zinc penny will make a duller sound. But, of course, the easiest way to check is to use a scale and compare their weights. Section 4. The value of the 1982 1-cent coin today. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1982 penny. While most of us would think that a penny is just worth 1 cent, some of the 1982 pennies, particularly the copper versions, can be worth much more to collectors. The copper version of the 1982 penny is often regarded as a collectible item due to its historical significance and the rarity of the remaining copper alloy pennies. A 1982 copper penny in good condition can be worth anywhere from 5 to 10 cents, but the real value comes in when the coin is in excellent or uncirculated condition. However, the real prize for collectors is the uncirculated 1982 copper penny. In top-tier condition, it can be worth anywhere from $1 to $2. And if you happen to have a 1982 copper penny that was struck by mistake in the wrong composition, it could potentially be worth thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, thousands. Some of these rare coins have sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the specific error and condition of the coin. But let's not forget the zinc pennies. While these aren't nearly as valuable as the copper ones, they are still worth their face value of 1 cent. In fact, many people still find them in circulation today. Section 5. The 1982 penny's legacy and its impact on modern coins. The 1982 penny also has an important legacy. The transition from copper to zinc not only affected the penny itself, but it set the stage for future coinage in the United States. It was one of the earliest examples of how the U.S. Mint adapted to the changing economic conditions and the rising costs of precious metals. Today, all U.S. pennies are made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, and this composition continues to be a key factor in the production of not only pennies but other U.S. coins. The decision to switch to the zinc penny was a turning point in coin production history. Without it, we might have seen the end of the penny altogether or a rise in the cost of producing other coins. In a way, the 1982 penny marked the beginning of the end for the copper penny and set the course for the future of coinage in the U.S.So. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the 1982 1-cent coin offers a fascinating glimpse into U.S. monetary history. The changes in its composition make it a significant coin for any collection. And who knows? That 1982 penny you have in your pocket could just be worth more than you think. If you want to start collecting pennies, or you want to check your spare change, it's worth looking through your 1982 pennies to see if you have any valuable copper versions. Remember, in the world of numismatics, condition is key. If you find any that are in great condition, or if you find one of those rare minting errors, you could have something that's worth much more than its face value. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and thank you so much for watching today's video on the 1982 1-cent coin. If you found this information helpful or interesting, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and historical insights. Until next time, happy collecting! Next, rare coin 1 cent Liberty 1983 coin enthusiasts. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in U.S. numismatic history, the 1983 1-cent coin, or as most of us call it, the penny. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting your journey in numismatics, the 1983 penny is a coin that has piqued the interest of many. But what makes this seemingly ordinary coin so extraordinary? Today, we're going to explore its history, its composition, its design, and most importantly, its value in the market today. So let's get started. Section 1. The history behind the 1983 penny. The penny, or 1-cent coin, has a long and storied history in the United States. The first penny was minted in 1793, featuring Lady Liberty on the front and a chain design on the back. Over the years, the penny underwent various redesigns, with notable ones being the Indian head penny 1859 to 1909, and the Lincoln cent, which has been in circulation since 1909. In 1909, the Lincoln penny was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, with the reverse showcasing 2 ears of wheat, symbolizing the nation's agricultural roots. By 1983, the penny had undergone some major changes. In 1982, The U.S. Mint made a crucial decision to switch the composition of the penny. Due to rising copper prices, the penny was no longer primarily made of copper but instead a copper-plated zinc material. The 1983 penny is one of the first to be minted entirely in this new composition. The 1983 penny, like its 1982 counterpart, contains only 2.5% copper, with the remaining 97.5% being zinc. But what really set the 1983 penny apart was its role in the shift from a copper-based coinage system to a more cost-effective zinc-based one. Section 2. The design and features of the 1983 penny. Let's take a closer look at the 1983 penny's design. On the obverse, we have Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained unchanged since 1909, and it is still a major feature of the Lincoln cent to this day. On the reverse, we see the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent. Since 1959, the reverse has featured a representation of the Lincoln Memorial, which commemorates Lincoln's legacy and his contribution to the nation. The penny's design is simple yet powerful, making it one of the most recognizable coins in the U.S. currency system. The design on the 1983 penny is exactly the same as it was in previous years, but the change in the metal composition is the key difference. The 1983 penny is now lighter and less expensive to produce than the earlier copper pennies. Section 3. The controversy of 1983 pennies. The copper penny debate in 1983. Many collectors and numismatists were paying close attention to the new composition of the penny. There was growing concern about how this shift in material would affect the coin's longevity and collectability. Some even speculated that the copper pennies from before 1982 would become highly sought after due to their higher copper content. And they were right to think so. In fact, the pennies minted before 1982 are now highly valued by collectors, as they contain a significantly higher copper content. A 1981 or earlier penny contains nearly 95% copper, while a 1983 penny, by contrast, has only 2.5% copper. This difference in metal composition became a point of interest for collectors, especially when metal prices fluctuated. Over time, the value of copper pennies, including the pre-1982 ones, has been rising, and they are now worth more than their face value based on their metal content alone. But what about the 1983 penny? Does it hold the same kind of potential? Section 4. Value of the 1983 penny in the market today. Let's talk numbers. What is the value of the 1983 penny today? And why should you care as a collector or investor? The value of the 1983 penny, like most modern coins, generally remains close to its face value of 1 cent. But there are some exceptions. Some 1983 pennies have unique characteristics that can make them much more valuable. One example is the 1983 penny with errors, such as double dies or other minting mistakes. These rare errors can make the coin highly valuable among collectors. For instance, a 1983 penny with a double die obverse, meaning that the image of Abraham Lincoln has a noticeable shift or doubling, can be worth hundreds of dollars, depending on its condition. These types of minting errors are rare, and collectors who are on the lookout for them are willing to pay a premium. The 1983 double die obverse penny has been sold at auction for as much as $1,000 in certain cases. Even without any errors, the 1983 penny still holds some market value for collectors, especially in high grades. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1983 penny in gem quality can fetch anywhere from $5 to $10 on the market, especially if it's a part of a rare and complete collection. Section 5. Conclusion. So, what does all of this mean for you as a collector or investor in coins? The 1983 penny may not seem like much on its own, but its historical context, design, and potential for rare minting errors make it a significant coin in the world of numismatics. While a regular 1983 penny isn't going to make you rich, it's a reminder of the changes in U.S. coinage and the intriguing history of currency in America. And if you come across a rare error or high-grade example, you might just be holding a piece of history worth a lot more than 1 cent. Thank you for watching today's video on the 1983 1-cent coin. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin-related content, and let us know if you have any 1983 pennies in your collection. Who knows, you might have a rare treasure on your hands. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and commonly found coins in America, the 1984 1-cent coin. Whether you're just starting your collection or you're a seasoned numismatist, this video will give you all the details you need about this coin's history, characteristics, and its current market value. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. Segment 1. Overview of the 1984 1-cent coin. Visual. Camera zooms in on a 1984 penny on a rotating turntable, showing both the obverse and reverse sides of the coin. The 1984 1-cent coin, often referred to simply as the 1984 penny, is part of the Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. What makes the 1984 penny unique is the D mint mark, signifying that it was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the 4 U.S. mint locations across the country. The D mint mark was added to differentiate coins minted in Denver from those produced in Philadelphia, where coins lack a mint mark. In terms of design, the 1984 penny carries the same iconic look that has defined the Lincoln cent for decades. On the obverse, you'll see a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of U.S. history, designed by Frank Gasparo. Segment 2. The history behind the Lincoln cent and the 1984 visual. Historical images of Abraham Lincoln, the creation of the penny, and the U.S. Mint. Before we focus on the 1984 let's take a moment to appreciate the history of the Lincoln cent. The coin was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The original design featured a bust of Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, hence the term wheat penny. This design remained in circulation until 1958. In 1959, the design was updated to the Lincoln Memorial reverse we all recognize today. This change was meant to honor Lincoln's legacy, as well as symbolize the importance of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The 1984 coin was struck during a period when the Lincoln Memorial design was the standard. It's important to note that by the 1980s, the penny had become a critical part of daily transactions, and the United States Mint was busy striking billions of them each year to keep up with demand. Segment 3. Mintage and production of the 1984 penny. Now, let's talk numbers. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced a massive amount of pennies, nearly 7.3 billion, to be exact. Of these, more than 5.5 billion were minted in Denver, and the remainder were produced in Philadelphia. This high mintage is one of the reasons why 1984 pennies are considered relatively common compared to some other coins from the era. Despite the large mintage, the 1984 penny remains a significant coin for collectors, primarily because of its historical value and the sheer number of them that were distributed across the country. In fact, the 1984 D is often found in change, making it a staple for beginner collectors who are just starting to learn about numismatics. Segment 4: Features and Characteristics of the 1984 D Penny *** Visual. A slow-motion video of a 1984 D penny being placed under a microscope, showing the fine details of the coin. Now, let's zoom in on the features of the 1984 D penny. The coin is made from a composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, which was introduced in 1982 as part of a cost-saving measure, as copper became more expensive. The penny weighs just 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. The obverse side shows Lincoln's portrait, along with the year 1984 and the phrase "In God We Trust," while the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial with the inscription "E Pluribus Unum" and 1 cent. The 1984 D penny has a smooth edge, which is typical of all U.S. pennies. When examining a coin like this, it's important to look for any unique characteristics or errors that could affect its value. While most 1984 D pennies are relatively standard, some may have minor variations or even minting errors that can make them more desirable to collectors. Segment 5: Errors and Varieties of the 1984 D penny * Visual. A close-up of various 1984 D pennies with visible errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes. Like many coins from the U.S. Mint, the 1984 D penny has a few known varieties and errors that have sparked interest among collectors. One of the most notable errors is the 1984 D double die obverse, where the date and lettering appear to be doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. This particular error is quite rare and can fetch a premium price in the market. Additionally, there are instances of off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the coin, and other small variations. These errors can add value to an otherwise common coin, and collectors often seek them out when adding to their collections. Segment 6: Market Value and Current Price of the 1984 D penny. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1984 D penny in today's market. As of today, the standard 1984 D penny, in average circulated condition, is typically worth just 1 cent, its face value. However, like most coins, its value can increase depending on its condition and any unique characteristics it may have. In terms of value, an uncirculated 1984 D penny, meaning a coin that has never been used in circulation and is in pristine condition, could be worth anywhere from 10 cents to 50 cents. If the coin is graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC and receives a high grade, such as MS-65 or higher, the value could jump to a few dollars, with some rare specimens reaching even higher prices. But the real value comes with the rare error coins. For example, a 1984 D double die obverse penny in excellent condition can sell for anywhere from $100 to $300 or more, depending on the exact nature of the error and its overall condition. If you're lucky enough to find one of these errors in your collection, it could be a game changer. Segment 7: How to identify the 1984 D penny and tips for collecting. To identify a 1984 D penny, you'll want to start by looking at the D mint mark located on the obverse, just below Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Inspect the coin closely under magnification, paying attention to the details of the date, the lettering, and the design. If you notice any doubling of the digits or irregularities in the strike, you may have found a valuable error coin. Point 1 pro tip for collectors is to always check your pennies for signs of wear. Coins that are well preserved with minimal scratches or discoloration will be worth more. If you're serious about building your collection, consider investing in a professional coin grading service to get your coins authenticated and graded. So, there you have it. The full history, details, and market value of the 1984 1-cent coin. Whether you're looking to add it to your collection or you've just found one in your pocket change, the 1984 penny is a fascinating piece of U.S. history with the potential to be worth much more than its face value, especially if you find an error or high-grade specimen. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future numismatic deep dives. And remember, keep collecting, and you never know what treasures you might find in your pocket change. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and a link to other coin-related videos on the channel. Next, rare coin 1 Liberty Cent 1975 D coin enthusiasts. In today's video, we are diving deep into the history, features, and current market value of one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatics, the 1975 D Lincoln Cent. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this video will provide you with everything you need to know about this iconic penny. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the story of the 1975 D Lincoln Cent. Section 1. The history of the 1975 D Lincoln Cent. To truly appreciate the 1975 D Lincoln Cent, we first need to understand the context in which it was minted. The 1975 coin is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909 and is one of the longest-running series in U.S. coinage history. Let's rewind to 1975. It was a time of significant change and political events. The United States had recently experienced the Watergate scandal in 1974, which resulted in President Richard Nixon's resignation, and the country was slowly recovering from the Vietnam War. It was also a year marked by significant social and economic shifts. The country was moving towards a bicentennial celebration in 1976, which had a profound influence on coinage production. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced both 1975 and 1976 coins with special bicentennial designs, including the famous quarter with the drummer boy design, but the 1975 D Lincoln Cent itself had no bicentennial alterations. It was a regular issue, yet it stands out due to a combination of its unique minting characteristics and its place in the larger historical context. Section 2. Features of the 1975 D Lincoln Cent. Now let's take a closer look at the 1975 D Lincoln Cent and what makes this coin special. This coin was minted in Denver ***, hence the D mint mark, and like all Lincoln Cents, it is composed primarily of copper with a small amount of tin and zinc. It's a small coin with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and it weighs around 2.5 grams. The obverse features the classic Lincoln portrait design by sculptor Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909. The reverse side showcases the famous Lincoln Memorial, which was designed by Frank Gasparo and has been in use since 1959. However, there's something unique about the 1975 D version that makes it distinct among other years, particularly the minting quality and the occasional presence of minor errors or variety. Mint mark. Be located on the obverse just below the date, indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint. The coin has the same Lincoln Memorial reverse design seen on most cents from 1959 until 2008, before the design was changed to the Union Shield. In terms of size, the 1975 D Lincoln Cent is pretty standard. It may not seem extraordinary at first glance, but this coin is part of a larger collection of pennies that hold immense historical significance. Section 3. The 1975 D Lincoln Cent and its market value. Now, let's get into the big question: what is the 1975D Lincoln cent worth today? Well, like most coins, the value of the 1975D varies depending on its condition and rarity. Here's a breakdown of what you can expect to pay or receive if you're buying or selling one. Circulated condition: in circulated condition where the coin has been in daily use, it's not unusual to find these pennies for just 1 cent. That's right, you could still find them in your pocket change, but it won't be much of a windfall. The 1975D Lincoln cent, like most pennies in circulated condition, doesn't carry a premium, unless you've come across one with some unique traits. Uncirculated condition: the value increases if the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in circulation and is still in near mid condition. A 1975D Lincoln cent in MS63, mint state 63. Condition can fetch anywhere from 30 cents to 50 cents for a higher grade uncirculated coin, say MS65 or higher. The value jumps significantly. These coins, which are beautifully preserved and show few or no signs of wear, can be worth around $2 to $5 depending on the market demand and rarity. However, finding a high-grade example of the 1975D Lincoln cent can be a bit of a treasure hunt. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1975D Lincoln cent is the potential for error coins or varieties that can greatly increase its value. Coin collectors and enthusiasts love to search for these elusive varieties, and the 1975D is no exception. Some examples of rare 1975D varieties include double die obverse. A double die error can cause the coin's details to be doubled. On the obverse, this can happen when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process. If you're lucky enough to find one of these errors, it could be worth $50 to $100 or more. Off-center strikes: occasionally, coins are struck off-center during the minting process, resulting in an imperfect image. A 1975D Lincoln cent with an off-center strike could command $10 to $50 depending on the degree of error. Die cracks and cuts: sometimes, coins develop cracks in the die, leading to die cracks appearing on the coin. Similarly, cuts, raised areas on the coin caused by die breaks, can occur. These errors are generally not as valuable as double die coins, but they still attract collectors and can fetch prices of $5 to $15 for minor errors. 4. Highly pristine, or gem quality. In gem quality specifically, coins rated MS67 or higher, the 1975D Lincoln cent can become a highly sought-after piece for serious collectors. If a coin is flawless, with no visible marks or abrasions, you might be looking at a coin worth $10 to $50 depending on auction trends and buyer demand. Section 4. Historical significance of the 1975D Lincoln cent. You might be wondering why the 1975D Lincoln cent holds such significance for collectors, given that it's not the rarest or most valuable penny in history. The answer lies in the legacy and symbolism of the Lincoln cent itself. Since its introduction in 1909, the Lincoln cent has been more than just currency. It's been a symbol of the American spirit. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, the image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, represents the strength and unity of the nation during one of its most trying times, the Civil War. Though the 1975D coin might not be rare in terms of mintage numbers, it serves as an important part of this long-standing tradition of honoring Lincoln. The 1975D also represents a transitional moment in U.S. coinage history, sandwiched between major changes like the bicentennial coins of 1976 and the eventual cent redesigns of the future. Section 5. Where to buy and sell the 1975D Lincoln cent. Now that you know the historical significance and the potential value of the 1975D Lincoln cent, where can you buy or sell one? Luckily, there are many outlets available to coin collectors and investors. Online marketplaces, websites like eBay and Heritage Auctions offer a wide range of Lincoln cents, including the 1975D variety. You can browse listings, read descriptions, and see prices for different grades of the coin. If you're looking for a specific 1975D in pristine condition or with a rare variety, coin shops can be an excellent resource. Make sure to work with a reputable dealer to ensure you're getting an authentic piece. And there you have it! The 1975D Lincoln cent is a fascinating piece of U.S. coinage history. From its place in the Lincoln cent series to its potential value in the marketplace, there's no doubt that this coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Whether you're adding it to your collection, or perhaps finding one with a rare error, the 1975D is a great coin to explore. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of coin collecting. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next video!